Welcome to the Nanotech Innovations SSP-354 training video. One of the first things you will need to check is that your thermocouples are plugged in and that your carrier gas line is connected to the correct port. In this case, the white tubing is the carrier gas line. The green tubing connects to the injection port. We advise that you use the supplied glass nozzles in the injection zone to prevent your quartz tube from getting permanently stained. Here is the approximate position of the nozzle in the injection end of the quartz tube prior to putting on the injection port end cap. Once you have placed the injection port end cap on the quartz tube, you will want to push the end cap all the way against the ceramic block. It is important that the exhaust connection is vented into a suitable fume hood or exhaust trunk line, as seen here. Once you have checked all connections, the next step is to turn on the carrier gas and to set the flow meter for the desired flow rate. In this case, we will set the rate at 1.5 liters per minute. Now you're ready to set the temperatures for each zone. Pressing the left arrow will let you select the digit you want to change. Pressing the up and down arrows will allow you to change the value. Then press the blue Set Enter button to set your temperatures. There are detailed instructions in the user manual of how to set the temperatures for each zone. When setting up the syringe pump, the first step is to select the correct syringe type and size. Then you will need to input the volume you will be dispensing and the rate. You can refer to the user manual for more detailed instructions. In this example, we will set it up to inject 10 milliliters at 5 milliliters per hour. It is best to let the system come up to temperature and run for at least a half an hour with the carrier gas flowing for best results. The process for filling the syringe is quite simple. You will need to obtain an 18 gauge needle and a 0.2 micron syringe filter. Since the vials are sealed, you will need a nitrogen line in order to pressurize the vial, which will allow you to fill the syringe. Pressurizing the vial works best if the nitrogen line is set to about 15 to 20 psi. You want to make sure you keep your hand over the plunger of the syringe once you insert it into the vial. The pressure in the vial should start pushing the plunger out, but if it doesn't, you can pull back on the plunger slowly to fill the syringe. It is best if you can minimize the air bubble in the syringe, but if one forms, you can get rid of it at the end by holding the syringe vertically and pressing the plunger slowly. Once you have filled your syringe with the desired quantity, it is important to remove the nitrogen line first, and then remove the syringe needle from the vial. Before removing the syringe needle from the vial, it might be helpful to pull back slightly on the plunger to reduce the pressure and avoid spillage. Now you are ready to remove the syringe filter and needle and place the 26 gauge needle on the syringe. Once you have filled the syringe and are ready to start injection, carefully insert the needle through the needle guide on the injection port. It is important that you are careful not to bend the needle as you put it through the needle guide. Push the syringe all the way up so that the flange of the syringe is secure against the block. Then secure the syringe in the syringe pump. If you have already set up your syringe pump, press the Run Stop button. You will know it is running by the flashing arrow. The display also shows how much has been dispensed. When starting the injection, it is helpful to put a light behind the first zone to see if the syringe is dispensing. If you do not see drips coming from the end of the needle, you will need to stop the injection and take the needle out immediately to avoid clogging the needle. After letting the system cool and removing the quartz tube from the system, it should be obvious where the growth zone is. The injection end will be largely clear, but the growth zone will be black. The exhaust end of the quartz tube will have amorphous carbon on it, so it is important to scrape that out and discard first. Now you are ready to harvest your carbon nanotube sample. Use the harvesting tool to scrape out the growth zone. You will want to apply enough pressure to get the sample out, but not too much that you break the quartz tube. Do your best to get all of the sample out of the growth zone. It may take a couple of attempts to scrape it all off the quartz tube. A typical run should produce 3 to 4 tenths of a gram of nanotubes.